Man, I miss fucking having coffee. I really fucking am like. Last Monday was supposed to be my Zen day. Didn't do a podcast. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a few days, especially with all that's going on. I haven't had time for like a good vacation or a good chance to get away. You got to take those fucking days. So I'm like, you know what? Uh, what I had originally planned was taking Sunday off from work. I had requested it off. A friend of mine was coming into town. We were gonna hang and day drink. And then Monday, I'm like, fuck, I want to go camping. I like the fucking camping therapy, just sitting around a campfire, drinking whiskey, smoking some fucking weed. It's just good therapy. And so I got a fucking campsite reserved at Platte River Campground. Beautiful area, Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes, Empire, Michigan is fucking fantastic. So I booked it, and like, what's fucked up is the Sunday drinking plans got canceled. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna work because it's gonna make me appreciate the camping trip that much more. If I was doing a day drinking trip Sunday and then going camping Monday, I'd be setting up to go camping Monday, potentially, maybe, probably fucking hungover. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. So I'm like, okay, I'll work. And I can make money and then be really fucking stoked about going camping on Monday. I was getting ready to go to work Sunday. I'd volunteered on Saturday. I texted my boss. I said, hey, I'm not, I can work Sunday if you need me. She's like, I do need you to bartend. Fucking A, come in. But I was sitting there getting ready for work, and I was, you know how you have that immediate regret? And you're like, why the fuck did I volunteer? Why the fuck did I volunteer to go into work? Why did I do that? Now I'm just sitting here going, I had the day off. I could have done something else, But like, fuck it, I'll go into work. So I did. Anyway, then I fucking get up, let myself sleep in on Monday. I wasn't checking into the campground until 2. So I let myself fucking sleep in and got everything ready to go and got all the things. And, all I got was, I got some fucking hot dogs and I got some chips. And then I got some things to make s'mores. I had some beer gifted to me by a coworker. I'm like, fucking A, that's covered. Got a fifth of fucking Bullet bourbon, a wonderful bourbon. And then some edibles and some fine legal Michigan marijuana. Off I go. It's rainy, and I expected it to rain. Plus, all these fucking. I didn't really realize the haze, the smoke conditions that were fueled by the wildfires in Canada. But that aspect had a lot to do with, I think, the rain. But it was just shitty out. But I knew it was going to rain. At least a little bit right before I got there, it kind of wrapped up. And there was a nice space of time from probably when I got there around 2 to later at night when it started raining. And I get the campground set up, it is kind of raining and it's tree covered, obviously, and the leaves are wet. So every once in a while when the wind blows, it goes, all the raindrops that were collected on the leaves come down. So that's just one of the things you got to deal with. I'm like, fuck it, I've got a bunch of fucking firewood here. I'm just going to get that shit roaring and just sit here and fucking vibe out. Put the headphones on. I put my phone on airplane mode. I'm like, now, I haven't really camped around this area very often. I usually go to the UP. So I'm trying to find a good campground with not a lot of neighbors because I don't want fucking neighbors. If I want to go camping, I want to sit in the woods with not really anybody talking to me. So when I say I picked the wrong campsite, it's fucking understatement. December, who I'm actually hanging out with later today, she's like, oh, we go to the Platte River campground once in a while. I'm like, that's fun. So I looked it up, and they're like, oh, there's rustic tent campsites and things. And I'm like, okay, so that doesn't sound like there's a lot of neighbors. Fucking A, I can do that. So I go and I set up, and at some point, I realized, because I'm kind of the first one there, and all of a sudden, all these campgrounds are starting to fill up. And all of a sudden I realize I got neighbors. And all of a sudden I realize there's just a bunch of fucking children around. I'm like, wow, man, this place is filling up quick. And it's weird because I do have my bowl sitting here, but I always feel like I'm fucking committing a crime, and I don't even really know if I should have fucking had it at the campground. I think it was a federal campground anyway, being Platte River, the Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes Federal National Campground. Anyway, the point of the story is, and I had all this stuff sitting there, but I didn't really hit it at all that often because there's just people around. You feel like you're gonna get in fucking trouble. So I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden, I'm realizing how many fucking kids there are. And I'm just like, oh boy. I got my headphones on. I'm just sitting here enjoying the fucking fire. I think I had some classical music going at the moment. An edible in me, and I'm just fucking vibing. And I realized at some point how loud these kids are. And they're just running all around. There's a fuck ton of children. And this is fucked up. But I looked over at my hatchet that I had and just started fucking laughing. I'm like, oh, this is how serial killers are made. Where you just had some guy who was coming to a campground minding his own fucking business, and then the children started invading my campsite. I had neighbors behind me. I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe this. All the fucking campsites in this particular area are on a loop, and it's like a one-way loop, right? So all these kids riding bikes. The neighbor who was stationed behind me, his campsite, it was like up a little bit of a hill, but it was only like 50 feet away, 100 feet away maybe. But these kids that were all part of this campsite, there's fucking 6 or 7 kids, man, were, instead of going all the way around the loop to their campsite entrance, were using my fucking campsite to go through up into theirs and to the bathrooms. Like, my fucking campsite was stationed with bathrooms behind me as well. So, I mean, it's just basically a fucking roundabout for all these goddamn kids. And I realized at some point, oh my God, this is going to last forever. They just started swarming and coming in. And it was like sharks where, and I love children, you know. I have great nieces and nephews. I love kids. But in that particular moment, when all you wanted to do was just sit there and fucking vibe out and listen to tunes and just get in your own head, and all of a sudden kids are coming up behind you and they're touching your things and they're grabbing your fucking cigarettes that are sitting there, you know, and the parents, and apparently they weren't the parents of all of the kids, came over and they collected them once, and they're like, oh, sorry, they're my friend's fucking kids. And I wasn't a dick at all. Not once. I actually said, yeah, twice, hey, no worries, after they apologized. But that didn't stop those fucking kids from coming around, you know. It was just a bunch of little ginger kids, too, that all looked like they could have been part of my family, that I probably would have been normally happy to have them around. But that was the whole night. The whole fucking night, man. It was just kids running through and just gawking at the old man sitting there minding his own business, fucking drinking a whiskey. Listening to music fucking at the campfire. And I'm just like, I have to watch and make sure none of these kids take anything off of this shit. So I'm always like looking around behind me, the opposite of fucking relaxed. At some point I realized I'm getting rained on. This is probably 1 o'clock in the morning. Maybe around midnight or so. Where I was just like fucking sitting there vibing, and I was pretty in the bag. And I'm like, oh, I need to go to bed. I had the tent set up, but I'm like, it's fucking raining. I'm just gonna sleep in my car. I have a Ford Escape. I can put the fucking back seat down, and then just sleep in the back. Throw the sleeping bag in there. So that's what I did, and it was comfortable enough. But I was just like, man, you had this one day. But I did roll over on my keys at like 6:30 in the morning and fucking hit the alarm on my car. It was fucking not only to all the other campsites in the area, but especially to those fucking neighbors. I was like, ha ha ha, you motherfuckers. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I have an actual meeting that I'm gonna do later this day at like 12:30. This was last Tuesday. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to eat breakfast here at the campsite, just a few hot dogs left over, and just waited out. But everything was so wet, and by 7 o'clock, all those fucking kids were running through the campsite again. So I'm just like, fuck this, man. I just wrapped up everything. Everything was wet, and I just put it away, and I hung it up and dried it when I got home. Put everything away. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Plus, I didn't even eat my fucking s'mores because I'm just like, there's no way I am gonna fucking get these goddamn s'mores things out and start making s'mores, then have all these fucking kids come over again. Then I feel like I gotta feed these goddamn kids too. Honestly, it wasn't the kids' fault. I was just so fucking pissed off that these people were just letting these fucking kids just saunter all around me this whole fucking time. That whole fucking time. God damn it. It's such a weird position. I don't know if I would have freaked out about that years ago. I probably would have said something to either off, but because that was one instance where I wanted to scare the fuck out of one of those kids, man. This little girl who was probably 8 just came fucking riding her bike right up in front of me, and just as soon as she kind of got in front of me, she stopped and she got all scared and shit. And I just go, hey, how you doing? And I was being really nice. And she just fucking stared at me as I was sitting by my campsite, minding my own business, and just like slowly walked with this dumb, gawking kid face, this walking by. And all I wanted to fucking do was go and just scared the living fucking shit, because you fucking deserve it. I don't know if I would have done something like that years ago, but I really wanted to fucking do that right then, man. It's growing as a person, It's not anything you got to file a complaint for. I think I just picked the wrong fucking campsite, apparently. But I could guess, because where do I usually go? I usually go to Tequamanon Falls in the UP or Soldier Lake in the UP. And those are like, there's neighbors in those campsites, but they're kind of a ways away, you know what I mean? Plus I want a place where I can shit without digging a hole, So I like to have some sort of campground where there is some sort of like bathroom facility. And that's going to mean neighbors. But they don't have to be right fucking there. And you can keep your fucking kids under control and tell them you don't go into other people's fucking campsites. Even now, it's still making me mad. I was mad the whole next fucking day, man. Oh my god. Fuck. But what the hell? Everything!